There was a lot that happened in this week's episode, but I will have to say that this episode, although very good, was very heavily edited. There was a lot of stuff that was left on the cutting room floor that honestly is not a bad thing. It definitely wasn't like, oh man, it's heavily edited. They left so much stuff out. It was boring. No, they made sure that they got the most important things done in this episode. But the stuff that was edited was definitely a lot of funny banter and funny moments. You know what? I'm glad you guys are here. So we'll definitely go into some of the things that were really funny, so then that way you can be informed while everybody else is left out in the cold. So first things first, let's talk about this idiot here. Man, oh man, he got absolutely smoked. Now remember, this is the guy that wants to kill Sung Jin-woo for killing his brother. Now, of course, his brother was a jerk and, you know, kind of threw his weight around because he's like, oh, I have a very strong S-tier brother. I can do whatever I want. So yeah, he died. And now this dude who was, remember, he's at the very top. He's an S rank. He goes around, does whatever he wants. That's why he's gone to America to kind of do his own thing over there. And yeah, he got humbled real quick by Jin-woo's father, who just appeared out of the blue. Now, he's probably never, ever, and at any moment been like this. Because you gotta remember, S-rank people kind of set their own rules. And that's why this guy, just a few episodes ago, was all about, oh, I just love to kill for the sport of it. He's so strong that who's gonna stop him? Even the Hunter Association can't stop him. He can just go off on a killing spree and they can't stop him because he's S rank. That's the whole point of Chairman Go's speech with Jin-woo, but we'll get to that later. Because he's been humbled and is getting almost PTSD from getting smacked around by Jin-woo's father, his American attendant came in and was like, hey, you know what? Is this guy really a beast? Now, that was still hold true in the episode that we saw that he came and questioned him. What they left out was the fact that the reason why this guy was asking him if he's an actual beast is because he shows a picture of during their battle or after their battle, Jin-woo's father saved civilians. Like, it was just crazy. It's like, even though they put the smack down and absolutely destroyed not as big of an area that most of the time S-rank hunters would have done, it was actually confined to that one building and the block around it. By most standards is very small, because most of the time if S-rankers battle each other, it's like whole blocks, neighborhoods get destroyed. And he went around and saved civilians while this guy's unconscious. So of course he's like, is he really a beast? Or did you kind of make an excuse? After being humbled, he's like, yeah, he's a beast, all right. Now granted, remember, he called him a beast just so then that way he could have the opportunity to fight him as an excuse, like, I just want to fight this dude. Now he's calling him a beast because there's no way that he could be defeated by someone that's merely human. With the fact that he got defeated so easily, he's not gonna let it slide. He's like, okay, now I need an artifact. Used to, he would fight with just his bare hands, that's it. No artifacts, no special things. Now he's like, okay, I got absolutely destroyed. So yeah, I need an artifact, I need weapons. And then of course it segues into, what's an artifact? What are these weapons that he's talking about? And then we get an explanation there. The biggest thing was the explanation of him saying Jin-woo's father was a beast. And then the guy showing evidence like, this shows that he's not a beast. Are you sure about that? It's okay that they cut that out, but if they had left it, I think it would have went to the mentality of how depraved he is. Let's actually get into some of the things that were edited down that were actually pretty funny. Jin-woo's over here at the evaluation, right? And we get these two guys. The scene right before this, there was a guy that's, you know, looking around, evaluating. He's like, huh, okay. He said that this guy that's worried is probably E rank, and then the other guy over there is probably going to be like a C rank or something. After this part where Jin-woo goes and get his evaluation, this was an extended scene in the manhwa because this is where they kind of explain all about guilds, how guilds work, and how the guys that are headhunters while they're there, which was basically the same what we got in the anime. The guy that was calm, cool, and collected started going into more detail about the world and about what is going on in this world as hunters, how they can make more of a living, you'll make more money, to make this guy more at ease. This was just important to fill in more information of world building and that is going on here, to where we don't have to just Jin Woo just sitting there thinking to himself, explaining how the world works. And the funny moment was the fact that they actually get their evaluation. They're kind of in the background while, you know, Jin Woo's doing stuff. We learned that the guy that's calm, cool, and collected, he ends up being E rank. And he's like, how did I get E rank? And then the guy that's right here, he actually gets, I believe, C rank. And so he's like, hey, I'm C rank, let's go. And so he can actually make money for his family. So it was kind of funny how they did that. Another thing was when Jinwoo got into the evaluation, this woman who was an attendant, when she actually met Jinwoo and, you know, called him and everything, she looks, she's like, oh, he's an E rank. She goes into explaining how people that are getting their evaluation, it's costly. It actually costs money to get evaluated for a second time. First time, it's like, okay, everyone gets evaluated to know their initial rank. But she was talking about, yeah, E rankers, they come in here all the time because they can't believe that they're E rank. So she actually mentally is looking down on Jinwoo. She looks at him and is like, oh, it's just another E ranker trying to come up in here and trying to, you know, buck the system and say, I'm not really E rank, I gotta be something higher than that. So she is like looking down on Jinwoo, doesn't think much of him, gets into the computer, she's like, yeah, touch it. And then it comes error, and she's like, oh, it's error. After she's trying to mess around with the computer and it kept saying error, this dude walks in. Now, he was funny because he actually was like a desk job somewhere else. He was also trying to get out of working, and he's like, man, I guess I'll come down here. And he goes to her and he's like, hey, what are you doing here? And she was saying how she's filling in because the person that's supposed to be doing the machine isn't there. I believe she said he went to the restroom or something, and she's not normally supposed to be doing this job. So he's like, oh, okay, sure, I'll help. And then he's like, what's going on over here? And then that's when they kind of go into the whole error thing. What wasn't explained very well in the anime was the next part after his evaluation. While the anime is trying to introduce us to the important players here, the guy in the red hair, we learn what about him and how he's coming in and he sees Jinwoo. The attendant actually talks to Jinwoo and says, okay, you have to come back in 3 days. What's going to happen is we're going to reevaluate, you know, the machine is messed up. We'll get a better machine here and we'll know your status for sure. That was muddled out in the anime because it was like other characters were talking over. So I can see where viewers are going to like, wait, what's going on with this whole coming back thing? The point is they have a system where if someone is of high level, they just go to them and say, hey, we can't, you know, do your evaluation. The machine is broken. Kind of like McDonald's saying their shake machine is broken. It's like, yeah, the shake machine's broken. You're gonna have to come back another time. Well, they tell Jinwoo, hey, you know what? You gotta come back in 3 days. We'll get it confirmed, you know, and you'll be good to go. The next thing was here with the chairman. The whole scene with the chairman is very important. Chairman Go is very strong. He's an S ranker and pretty much the first S ranker in all of Korea. So much so that he's the head of the association. After their meeting, he got the impression from Jinwoo that, oh man, Jinwoo is not in it for the money. He cares about fighting. He cares about actually going in there, defeating monsters and clearing the actual dungeons. So that made the chairman heart skip a beat like, oh, the conviction on this guy. Oh, dang. And he, you know, found a kindred spirit. So then afterwards here, when he hears that Jinwoo joined the hunters, not necessarily joined them, but basically went to a dungeon with them, he's like, wait, didn't we just get done talking? He said he didn't want to do it for the money. Why is he helping out the Hunters Guild? And then he finds out that it's like, no, he joined them as part of the mining crew. He's like, the mining crew? Now, the funny part was his expression. Like, this is his expression in the anime. But the actual manhwa, it was hilarious. And that's why he goes off saying, like, yeah, I don't understand this Jinwoo. What is he doing? Overall, There was a lot of changes in this episode, stuff that was even smaller than that. And of course, you got to understand that there's always going to be changes when you're trying to transpose something that's in the manhwa, manga, whatever, and then make it into animation, that even though everything is more fluid and looks amazing, especially something like this that is graphically amazing, there's going to be some things that is just kind of thrown by the wayside because they have 30 minutes to fill and they want to put as much into an episode to make it coherent and make sense, like bookmark it from one point to another. So then that way, if they want to put a cliffhanger at the end, if they want to put something interesting at the end, like this, Jinwoo got caught straight up. He was about to go in there. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to peek. I'm just going to look at the boss. This is no big deal, just a little peek. And then she comes in here. Now, I will say, like, there was one little small difference where the boss wasn't behind a gate. Like, the boss was just there, just standing there. He's getting his dagger out. It's like, oh, it's not going to be a bad thing. And then he gets caught by her. They did a very good job as far as how they ended the episode here. Like, this whole segment introduced Chahae in the manhwa, but we as viewers, like, she was, I believe, even in the first episode of the actual anime. They started the world building early. So by the time that you actually meet her, you know who she is. We already know how strong she is. Like, even like when they introduced the flip, while she flipped over those guys that were trying to steal a purse, that wasn't in the manga at all. So to have her show up now, we already know some things about her, how strong she is, how powerful she is. So just to go off and say she has a lot of aura and such, we kind of already know that she's an S-class. And I'm glad that they did that because it wasn't like they just kind of shoehorned her in. Solo Leveling has been doing a good job as far as the things that they do edit isn't like a huge change where viewers are left out in the cold. Although there might have been some jokes, funny moments that are not placed in, and they do make the anime feel a lot more serious than it actually really is. Still, they include some of the jokes. I will have to say that I am satisfied with what they have done. So don't ever feel like that by watching it and not reading the manhwa that you are left out in the cold, because you're not. Tell me what you guys think as far as the way they've been doing the editing and such. Please, no spoilers for those that haven't read the manga. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed, because we'll definitely discuss this anime and several others here on the channel. And if you've been enjoying these analysis, whether or not the video themselves are long or short, let me know. I'd like to hear your guys' viewpoints, because I'm definitely doing my very best with what I got available to make this as enjoyable as possible. You guys be safe, you take care, like the video, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications, and until next time, be safe, be cool, and I'll see you around. Bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.